Tesla's China troubles continue, with shipments of locally made cars plunging the month of July. This following a run of negative publicity and the recall of almost every car the company has sold in China. For more on the story, I want to bring in our Bloomberg News reporter, who else but Ed Ludlow. So, I think when you say it that way, it's just hard to believe that every single car in China has been recalled.
Right.
What exactly is happening here?
Well, the numbers themselves are really important to break down, because for the first time, we saw this big drop in the number of cars that are built in China, in the Shanghai factory, that are actually delivered to Chinese customers. What's really happened over the last 12 months is that Shanghai has become the center of production for Tesla. Mm-hmm. It's no longer over the water from where we're sitting, right? It's in Shanghai. So look at that chart on your screen. The orange bar is what you're looking at. And we care about that because China is the world's biggest autos market. It's still building a lot of cars in China, but now for the first time, more of them are going overseas, mostly to Europe. That's not a bad thing, because those are higher margin cars. Tesla's done a lot to localize supply chain in China. It's got a super efficient factory. It makes a lot of money on those cars, but it is worrying about what it signals for the company's performance in that market.
So how important is China to Tesla compared to, the rest of the world,
right,
which, the world is their oyster, right?
The United States is still its biggest market, but China was its growth market. It was the engine room for growth because it's the world's biggest auto market. The difference with China is that, and I think we have a chart which shows Tesla's revenue growth by different regions, right? The blue bars are China. You can see that for a long time in recent quarters, that's where the growth was coming from. It slowed down last quarter when these woes started happening, the kind of clash with consumers, regulators coming in.
And is that going to continue to slow?
Well, this latest data set is not a good sign. And we know that, for a long time, Tesla was the darling of the Chinese government. They really helped the company get set up there. But now it seems as if they're going to have to do a lot better to improve the situation, not just with consumers, but to allay some of the fears the Chinese government has.
Meantime, Tesla stock has been in a holding pattern. Is this in part due to the China concerns?
It's hard to say. The run-up in Tesla's share price over 2020 was so massive. It's now really underperforming the S&P 500. It's just in positive territory. You see there on your screen the orange line, just in positive territory year to date. So part of that is that we saw such gains last year. We're now kind of normalizing a little bit. I think a lot of folks are waiting on AI Day, which is next week, to see what the next phase of Tesla's life looks like. And indeed, if there's something substantive there on when we might see real self-driving, we know that some of the bulls put a lot of emphasis in their target prices.